Welcome to Fear Ain't Fiction, where the stories are strange and the fear is real. Robert Taylor Homes, Southside Chicago, State Street Corridor. If you don't know about Robert Taylor, let me tell you, it was the biggest housing project in America. 28 buildings, 16 stories each, stretched 2 miles along State Street, from 39th to 54th. At its peak, 27,000 people lived there. It wasn't just a housing project. It was a city within a city, with its own rules, its own wars, its own demons. This story is about Halloween 1989. I was there. I was 12 years old. My name is Marcus. And this is about the night I went into the hole. October 31st, 1989. I lived on the 8th floor of building 4541. That's at 51st and State, right in the heart of what they called the hole. If you from Chicago, you know what the hole was. The worst section of Robert Taylor, 51st to 54th Street. That's where the Mickey Cobras controlled everything. The gangster disciples tried to push in sometimes, but the hole belonged to the Cobras. Halloween in the projects was different than Halloween anywhere else. We didn't go to nice neighborhoods trick-or-treating. We stayed in our buildings, went door to door, floor to floor. Most people gave out candy if they could afford it. If they couldn't, they'd at least smile and say Happy Halloween. That year, I was dressed as a ghost, white sheet with holes cut out. My mama couldn't afford nothing fancy, but I didn't care. I had my boys with me, Dre and Lil Mike. Dre was dressed as Michael Jackson in the Thriller jacket his cousin gave him. Mike was a ninja, black clothes and a bandana. We started on our floor, hit up Miss Johnson in 804. She always gave out full-size candy bars if you were polite. Then we went to 805, then to 806, all the way down the hall. By the time we got to the 5th floor, our pillowcases were getting heavy. Snickers, Skittles, candy corn. We were winning. That's when Dre said it. Yo, let's go to the basement level. I froze. Nah, man. My mama said stay on the upper floors. Why though? Mike asked. They got people down there too. Probably got better candy because nobody else is going down there. He was right about that. Most kids were scared of the lower floors, especially the basement and 1st floor around the hole. That's where the gangbangers posted up. That's where the drug dealers did business. That's where bad things happen. But we were 12, and 12-year-olds think they invincible. All right, bet, I said, but we stick together. And if something feels wrong, we getting out of there. We took the stairwell. The elevator was broke. It was always broke. As we went down, the lights got dimmer. By the time we hit the 3rd floor, only every other light was working. Some floors were pitch black except for emergency exit signs. We got to the 1st floor. The hallway was dark, real dark. Only a few apartment doors had light coming from underneath. The rest, black. The smell hit me first. Piss, weed, something rotten. The walls were covered in graffiti, gang signs, warnings. One spray-painted message said, "Turn back." Another said, "The hole hungers." I felt my stomach drop. Maybe we should head back up, I said. But Dre was already knocking on 104. An old lady answered. She looked surprised to see us. "Y'all trick-or-treating down here? Y'all got some nerve." She smiled and dropped some candy in our bags. "Now get on out of here before..." She stopped, looked past us down the hallway. Her smile disappeared. "Go right now. Don't look back." She shut the door. We heard her lock click, then another lock, then a third. "Yo, what she mean don't look back?" Mike whispered. That's when we heard it. Footsteps, coming from the end of the hall. Slow, deliberate, wrong. They didn't sound like regular footsteps. They sounded wet, like someone walking in water, but there was no water. "Gangbangers," Dre whispered. "Just keep walking toward the stairs. Don't run. Don't look scared." We walked, but the footsteps got closer, faster. I couldn't help it. I looked back. At the end of the hall, where the light from the emergency exit barely reached, I saw it. Tall, too tall. Had to be 7, maybe 8 feet. Thin, too thin. like someone stretched out on a rack. It was moving toward us, not walking, gliding. Run! We bolted toward the stairwell. Behind us, those wet footsteps exploded into a sprint. But it wasn't running. It was something else. Something wrong. Mike hit the stairwell door first. It was locked. He yanked on it. Nothing. The thing was getting closer. I could hear breathing now. Raspy. Deep. Like wind through a tunnel. Dre tried the elevator. Pressed the button over and over. The footsteps stopped. We turned around. It was standing at the end of the hallway, in the darkest part. I couldn't see his face, just a silhouette, but I could feel it looking at us. Then it tilted its head, slow, curious, like a dog. The elevator dinged. The doors opened. We didn't think. We just ran. Threw ourselves inside. Dre smashed the button for the 8th floor. The door started closing. As they shut, I saw it move, fast, impossibly fast. Its hand shot out, long, too long, fingers like knives. The doors closed. We heard a slam. The whole elevator shook. Then, silence. The elevator started going up. 2, 3, 4, 5. None of us said anything. We were crying. Mike pissed himself, but nobody said nothing about it. 6, 7, 8. Doors opened. We ran out. I don't even remember what floor we knocked on, but somebody let us in. Miss Rodriguez. She took one look at us and knew. Y'all went to the hole, didn't you? We just nodded. She sat us down, got us water, called our mamas. Y'all ain't the first, she said, and you won't be the last. There is something down there. Been there since before they built these projects. Some folks say it feeds on fear. Others say it is fear, made real. She told us stories. Kids who went down there and never came back. People who got off the elevator on the wrong floor by mistake. Found days later, died of a heart attack. No marks on them, but their faces frozen in terror. The gangbangers know, she said. That's why they control that floor. Not because of the drugs, because something down there keeps the police away, keeps everyone away. Robert Taylor homes got torn down in 2007. All 28 buildings, demolished. But I still live in Chicago. And sometimes, late at night, when I'm in a tall building and the elevator stops on a floor I didn't press, I get that same feeling. Like something's waiting, watching, hungry, and I'll take the stairs. Every single time. Marcy Projects, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, Myrtle Avenue and Nostrand, 27 buildings, 6 stories each, 1,705 apartments. Jay-Z called it Murder Marcyville, and he wasn't exaggerating. In the 90s, Marcy was a war zone. Crack epidemic, gun violence, bodies dropping every week. But it was also home, where families lived, where kids played, where we tried to make the best of what we had. Halloween 1994. I was 15, thought I was grown, thought I was tough. My name is Rashid, and this is about the night I learned that in Marcy, some ghosts don't rest. October 31st, 1994. I lived in Building 11, 3rd floor, my mom's, my 2 sisters, and me. Marcy in the 90s was crazy. Every week somebody getting shot. Every day cops running through. Stick-up kids, drug dealers, gangbangers. But it was home, you know, our home. Halloween in Marcy was different than other places. Parents didn't let their kids trick-or-treat alone. Groups moved together. Dudes on the corners would actually chill on Halloween night. Let the kids have one night. But there were rules. Don't go to Building 27. Don't cut through the back lot after dark. Don't go on the rooftops, ever. I was 15, with my boys. We wasn't trick-or-treating, we was just out, hanging, trying to look tough. You know how it is. My man Jamal was with me. His cousin Dre and this new kid Marcus just moved to Marcy from Queens. We was on the corner of Myrtle, just watching people. Kids in costumes running around. Parents stressed out trying to keep them safe. old heads on the benches drinking and talking. That's when Mr. Patterson came up to us. Old dude, lived in Marcy since the 60s, knew everybody. Everybody knew him. "Y'all stay out of Building 27 tonight," he said. "Why?" "What's in Building 27? Marcus asked. Mr. Patterson looked at him. "You knew, so I'ma tell you. Building 27 is where they happened. All of them." "All of what?" I asked. "The murders." 23 people died in that building over the years. Shootings, stabbings, overdoses, suicides. That building is cursed. And on Halloween, they come back. Jamal laughed. "Come on, Mr. P. That's just stories." "Nah," he wasn't smiling. "That's facts. Ask anybody, Halloween night. You hear things in Building 27, see things. People who died there don't leave." He walked away. Marcus looked at us. "Y'all believe that?" "Hell no," Dre said. "Just old people superstitions." But I'd heard the stories my whole life. Building 27 was known. People avoided it. Apartments stayed empty longer than other buildings. Even crackheads didn't squat there. "Let's check it out," Marcus said. "Nah, man," I said. "That building is off limits." "Why? You scared of ghosts?" He was smiling. "I ain't scared of nothing. I just respect the elders. They say stay away, we stay away." But Marcus kept pushing, and Jamal started agreeing. And before I knew it, we was walking toward Building 27. The entrance was dark. Bulb was out. Graffiti everywhere. Tags. RIP, murals for people who died. We went in. The lobby smelled like piss and weed. Mailboxes busted open. Stairwell door hanging off the hinges. "Let's go to the roof," Marcus said. "The roof?" "Nah, man, that's where." "Where what?" I didn't want to say it, but everybody knew. Building 27's roof was where people got shot, thrown off, where bodies were found. We climbed, 6 flights, each floor darker than the last. We passed apartments with doors kicked in, empty, abandoned. When we got to the roof access, the door was already open. The roof was empty, quiet. You could see all of Brooklyn from up there, Manhattan in the distance. It was actually beautiful. Then I saw him, standing at the edge, a kid, maybe 17, 18, wearing a starter jacket, just standing there, not moving. "Yo," Jamal called out. "You good?" The kid didn't respond, didn't turn around, just stood there. We walked closer. That's when I noticed his clothes. They were from the 80s. The jacket was old, faded. "Yo, that's weird," Dre whispered. We got about 10 feet away when the kid finally turned around. His face, his eyes were black, empty. His mouth was open but no sound came out. There was a hole in his chest, a bullet hole. "Yo!" We turned to run but stopped. More of them, coming through the roof door, rising up from behind the edges, coming out of shadows, young dudes, girls, all with wounds, bullet holes, stab wounds, hanging wounds on their necks. All the people who died in Building 27. They were all there. "Run!" We ran for the door, but they were blocking it. We were surrounded. One of them, a girl, maybe 16, stepped forward. Her voice sounded like wind. "Why are you here?" We didn't mean nothing. You forgot us," she said. "All of you. We died here and nobody remembers. Nobody cares." She was right. I didn't even know their names. None of them. Just that people died in Building 27. "We remember," another one said. "We always remember. Halloween night, we come back to remind you. We lived here too. We mattered." They started moving closer. Marcus was crying. Dre was frozen. Jamal was praying. Then the girl spoke again. "Go. Tell them we were here. Say our names. Don't forget us." The crowd of ghosts parted. The door was open. We ran, down 6 flights, out into the courtyard. Didn't stop until we got to Building 11. Mr. Patterson was still on his bench. He saw us, knew where we'd been. "They let you go," he said. "They don't always. You lucky." I went home, couldn't sleep. Next day, I went to the library, looked up newspaper articles about deaths in Marcy projects, Building 27 specifically, 23 people. That's how many died there. Kids, teenagers, young adults, all black, all poor, all forgotten. I wrote down their names, carried that list for years. Marcy projects is still standing. Most of the big projects in New York got torn down, but Marcy, still there. Renovated now, looks better, but Building 27 is still avoided. People still tell stories, and every Halloween, if you go up to that roof, you'll see them, still waiting, still wanting to be remembered. Jay-Z got out, made it big, put Marcy on the map, rapped about it in songs, but he also rapped about the violence, the death, where you can't put your vest away and say you'll wear it tomorrow, because the day after we'll be saying, I was just with him yesterday. That was real. That was life in Marcy. And the ghosts, they real too. They ain't scary because they're evil. They're scary because they're all of us. Young black kids who never got a chance, who died in a building and nobody cared about. I got out, moved away, did good for myself. But every Halloween, I go back to Marcy, stand in that courtyard, and I say their names because they deserve to be remembered. Liberty Square, Miami, Florida. Locals called it the pork and beans, the color of the paint and the heat that came off the concrete. Built in 1937, it was one of the oldest public housing projects in the South. 243 buildings, 700 apartments. Whole generations raised right here, through hurricanes, blackouts, and the worst kind of heat. By 2019, they were tearing most of it down, making room for what they called Liberty City Rising. But before the new towers went up, the old ones had one last Halloween. And that's when something new, or maybe something old, came back to life. I grew up in the pork and beans before they tore it down. Halloween 2019 was our last one there. Me, my boys Darius and T, we just wanted to trick or treat the old way. One last time. Most of the buildings were empty by then. Lights flickered, hallways half gutted. But we didn't care. We had pillowcases, we had candy, we had the night. And I had this mask. I should have never put that mask on. I found it at a little yard sale over on 14th. Old lady, sitting behind a folding table with some toys, costume wigs, random junk. Then I saw it. This black mask, ceramic, heavy. Looked kind of like a theater mask, but wrong. Too detailed. It had these faint etchings all over the face, like writing I couldn't read. She said, "That one ain't for play, baby. You don't want that one." I thought she was just being weird. Gave her $2 and walked off with it. We started on 12th Avenue, hit the new side first, where folks still lived. Kids running, candy everywhere, people dressed like Black Panther, Pennywise, even a dude with a homemade gator mask. I put mine on, cold as hell, like metal that'd been sitting in a freezer. Darius laughed. "Bro, you look possessed." We laughed it off, but the longer I wore it, the heavier it felt, like it didn't want to come off. We crossed the fence into the old side, the part half demolished. Windows busted, doors chained, graffiti everywhere. Whole place smelled like wet drywall and salt air. We were daring each other. "Bet you won't knock on that one." Laughing, running. But the deeper we went in, the quieter it got. Then I heard it, whispering. At first I thought it was the wind, but it was coming from inside the mask. It started saying things I couldn't make out. Fast, wet, like somebody talking underwater. I tried to pull the mask off. It wouldn't move. The straps weren't even tight, but it felt stuck, like my skin was glued to it. T looked at me and froze. "Yo, your eyes." He didn't finish. Because when he said that, I saw something behind him. A person, or a shadow, wearing the same mask. We ran. I didn't even know where we were going. Every hallway looked the same. Darius tripped, dropped his candy bag. When I looked back, he was gone, just gone. I screamed his name. Nothing but the sound of the wind whistling through broken windows. I turned a corner, saw my reflection in a cracked mirror, but it wasn't me. The mask was smiling. I wasn't. I fell to my knees, pulling, clawing, crying. Then I heard it, clear as day. Stay masked, stay silent. The voice wasn't outside anymore. It was in my head, like something behind the mask was breathing with me. Next thing I remember, I woke up in my room, mask sitting on the floor, cracked down the middle. Darius never came home that night. They said he ran off, got caught up. But every Halloween since, I swear I see somebody standing by the old fence, wearing the same mask. And every year when I sleep, I still hear that whisper, next year. Liberty Square, built 1937, torn down 2017 to 2022. Some call it rebirth, others say the ghost never left. If you walk by Northwest 62nd Street on Halloween night and you see someone wearing a black ceramic mask, don't stare too long, because sometimes the mask doesn't just cover a face, sometimes it keeps one. Stay masked.